11:30.
Just a couple of minutes of delay and we'll start. This is Amaravati.
It's also flickering. It's flickering time. Ni nu tem cutaways. Giving them some cutaways.
Попробуй так повесить, чтобы не закрывать его грудью, когда будешь говорить. Чтобы сигнал не прервался. На 30 можешь. Да, ну или рядышком, там не суть важно. Вот здесь хорошо тоже, да. Я тебя уже слышу. Повесишь? Сейчас проверить. Я их попросил 2 канала включить. Сейчас прочекаем. Я написал даже 2 сообщения. Проверьте, пожалуйста, канал. Там будет голос Марии.
היית את זה, נכון? קריסת מבנה, יש נפגעים.
Посчитай, пожалуйста. Давай еще раз. Слышали? Сейчас будет песня.
ברור, אם זה
Just finding out how the parking system works in every different place. It's research. Second time you have to pair up before you know the system. And they rely on it. טוב. It's 11:04. Let's go. You give me come back. You should have a character. It's security limit.
then we'll open it for questions. Please.
Good morning. We will begin negotiations on the second phase of the hostage deal. Israel is committed to our goal to ensure the release of all our hostages. We also committed to all the objectives of the wars were decided by the Security Cabinet. Hamas pushed for the adopt of the Hezbollah model in Gaza. And according to this plan, Hamas will transfer civil rule to the Palestinian Authority or other group, but will continue to be the dominant military force in Gaza Strip and continue its war against Israel. Of course, it is totally unacceptable. We demand complete demilitarization of Gaza. We will not accept the continued presence of Hamas or any other terrorist groups in Gaza. With regard to Lebanon, as part of the ceasefire agreement in the north, the IDF will complete the withdrawal from Lebanon today. We are temporarily remaining in 5 strategic high points necessary for our security. We are completing the withdrawal despite the violations of the agreement. The most basic violation is the presence of Hezbollah activists south of the Litani River. Unfortunately, it continued to be the reality. Once Lebanon fully implements its side of the deal, there will be no need to hold these points. Iran is making huge efforts to restore Hezbollah by financial support. Part of this is being done with the cooperation of Turkey. If Hezbollah is restored as the dominant military and economic force, Lebanon will remain under Iranian occupation and without a future. The Lebanese army must be stronger than Hezbollah. Lebanon is trying to counter Iranian influence, and this is the reason Hezbollah operatives attacked UNIFIL forces. It is in the interest of the international community to prevent Iran's occupation of Lebanon through Hezbollah. We had a very successful visit from Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Sunday. Israel has never had a greater friend in the White House than President Trump, and we could not have asked for a better Secretary of State than Marco Rubio. I believe that the relationship between Israel and the United States will reach new heights in the coming years, elevating Israel's diplomatic standing worldwide. I will soon visit Washington for an official visit. Before that, next week I will travel to Brussels at the invitation of the High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security of the EU, Kaja Kallas. For the first time in years, an Association Council meeting between Israel and the European Union will take place with European foreign ministers. I will also hold a series of meetings there with the senior officials from EU institutions. I believe in a positive and direct dialogue, even when there are some differences of opinion. Last point, the Palestinian payments for terror continues. Palestinian Authority continues with its usual deception and with its pay-for-slay strategy. Based on their statements and intelligence, we have payments of families of terrorists proceed this week as always. The PA continues to finance and encourage terrorism. מכובדי הדובר.
Thank you, Foreign Minister. Questions, please. Please.
Prime Minister Henry Wilkin from the Daily Telegraph in the UK. The British Prime Minister and Foreign Secretary have both criticised Donald Trump's vision for the future of Gaza. They've distanced themselves from it. It's a vision which, in terms of the general direction of travel, appears to have been warmly embraced by Israel's government. Do you still feel that the UK is an ally of Israel?
We can have differences also with friends. And I believe that it is a time when we should think of new ideas. We saw what happened with the last experiences in Gaza. The PA role there ended after a little bit more than a decade with strengthening terrorist organizations in the Strip. It was not successful. It ended with Hamas rule in Gaza. And Hamas rule in Gaza was also not, how shall I put it, not the most successful experience in human history. So altogether, it is time to think on new ideas. President Trump surely brought a new idea. But to be frank, I don't see, when we are speaking about people who immigrate from their free will, because this is their choice from any other part of the world, it's okay. So where is someone who wants to immigrate on one hand, and there is a country which is ready to accept him on the other hand, it is totally human, moral, and it is the same with regard to Gaza as anywhere else in the world.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed. Nick Robertson from CNN. Yesterday you had a meeting with Senator Lindsey Graham and some of the other senators from the United States. Lindsey Graham yesterday said that he expects leaders in the Middle East to come up with a plan to rebuild Gaza without, and I'm quoting him here, without a mass exodus, as President Donald Trump has suggested. Is that correct? Can it be done? Is there a plan? Will there be? Without mass exodus?
In my meeting with Senator Graham, he didn't say that. And anyhow, I presented my view on the issue, and just in my last words.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Minister Matthew Doran from ABC Australia. The idea that's been put forward by, or the pitch that's been put forward by President Trump about moving Gazans out of Gaza and rebuilding from there. What happens if people do not want to leave Gaza, and how does that rebuilding happen? And do you think that having this pitch out there in the public is potentially going to jeopardise phase 2 talks if Hamas...
Do you think people don't want to go out from Gaza? Do you really think that way? Okay. So I said very clearly, if someone wants to immigrate, we should give him a free choice. This is accepted everywhere in the world. It should be accepted also there. On the other hand, you need a country which is ready to accept. If both conditions are met, I don't understand what's the problem.
So do you think that rebuilding...
I phrase my... I think I spoke very clearly.
Thank you. Yes, please. Yeah.
Minister, good morning. According to your studies and findings, how many Gazans would leave Gaza if allowed to? And which countries have already expressed openness to taking in a large number of Gazans?
I think it's too early to answer to your questions.
Thank you. Yes, please. James.
James Mackenzie from Reuters. Are you aware of alternative Arab plans for redevelopment of Gaza after the war? And what would Israel's opinion of those plans be?
If the plan, for example, I'm saying if the plan is example, transferring the control from the civil control from Hamas to PA and the continuation of the presence of terror organizations there according to the Hezbollah model of Lebanon, it is totally unacceptable if it is the plan. But we'll see what it will be.
Are you aware of Arab?
I'm aware that they are discussing it, and there will be, I believe, a summit of the Arab League, I believe, next week, and we'll hear it.
Thank you.
When we'll hear it, we'll know how to address it, but I'm stating it very clearly. Hezbollah model in Gaza Strip will not be acceptable by us, because it will maintain the threat of our citizens. It will remain a threat for the security of this country. And therefore we need a total demilitarization of Gaza Strip.
And no presence of the Palestinian Authority. We know the Palestinian Authority not being in charge either.
The Palestinian Authority failed to meet its obligations in the PA territories. By the way, when they had full power in their hands, they lost Gaza Strip on 2007. I don't think they are stronger today than what they were there. But the most important thing is that the Palestinian Authority in Judea and Samaria continue with their pay-for-slay strategy, continue to encourage terrorism, continue with incitement in textbooks, in kindergartens, in schools, in media, in mosques. So we don't trust the PA to lead a process of de-radicalization, which is the most important thing for the Palestinian people themselves.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Very hard network global news. Can you talk about the hostages? We're getting various input that there's going to be 4 to 6 bodies released on Thursday, and then up to 6 hostages maybe released on Saturday. Is this going to continue trickling in, or will we be looking for something else?
Well, I don't want to say time ahead what will happen on Thursday and Saturday, but of course, if it will be earlier for hostages to go out from captivity before the regional time of the agreement, that is very good and very important. As I said previously, we will continue to negotiate on the second phase of the hostage framework, and while doing it, we will negotiate according and based on the resolutions of the Security Cabinet about the objectives of the war.
Thank you.
If Hamas decides to stop releasing hostages, is Israel prepared to go back more?
The answer is yes. I said we are committed to the objectives of the war, as it was set by the Security Cabinet. War for itself is not an ideology. If we can achieve our goals by different means, very good. If we won't be able to do that, we will not finish the war without all the hostages will be in our hands. We will not finish the war without achieving all the objectives of the war. If it will be possible through a different means, very good. If not, we are ready to restore military activities.
Thank you. Tova, please.
Yeah, just continuing on the hostage deal. You said that talks have begun for phase 2. Does that mean there are talks that are
It will begin. It will begin. I believe these days, this week.
They will begin this week?
Yeah, we discuss things with our American friends, and I believe that next thing will be also connected to the mediators, but it will happen, I believe, this week.
And what happens when phase 1 ends if there's no agreement on phase 2? What happens at the beginning of March?
I said there are 3 theoretical options. First is that we will achieve an agreement on phase 2 before the 42nd day. Second, we will see negotiations are not leading anywhere, not effective, not constructive, and we will be back taking military actions. Third option is we'll see there is a constructive dialogue with a possible horizon of getting to an agreement, and we will make this time framework longer. This option is in the agreement itself. This option exists. So these are the 3 theoretical options, and I don't want to be a prophet.
Thank you.
Just one last thing. Is there a possibility of extending the formula for exchanges beyond the date of March 1st, where they will release a couple of hostages? Israel, that could, or is Israel looking?
This is an option connected to the option of a longer period of time to negotiations when you see constructive negotiations. So this is a possibility. I cannot exclude this possibility.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Mr. Minister, thank you very much. Marie Knoschner, RT, with this bureau chief. Israel has widely and strongly supported Trump's plan on post-war Gaza, where the U.S. essentially owns Gaza. Just to clarify, who does Israel think should own Gaza? And also, President Trump was not very clear on the details. At some point, he suggested that the U.S. might buy Gaza, later saying that the U.S. will just own Gaza. So if the U.S. is buying, who's the seller in this transaction? And if not buying, then how?
I think every plan begins as an idea. President Trump brought an idea. I believe that during time we will have, because people here before you ask about how many people, what are the countries, you are putting some other issues or dimensions. I believe the idea is quite clear, and we should work together and see how to what extent it is to what extent it can be done. I think it is, from what I understand, there are a lot of people wants to immigrate. I don't think it is moral to deny option for these people. Some people ask me about some said Gaza belongs to Palestine, but as far as I know, a state named Palestine never existed in history.
Thank you. So who should own Gaza? With Trump's plan aside, who does Israel believe should own Gaza?
I think I answer your question. It's not necessarily the answer that maybe you expected, but that was the answer.
Thank you, Foreign Minister. Yes, please. Next question.
I mean, because you mentioned that so many Gazans want to leave. Is Israel playing kind of referendum to know people's opinion in the Gaza Strip?
I think immigration is based on free will of everyone. If you want to immigrate tomorrow, it will not be subjected to a referendum. Accept the idea that a Palestinian is a human being like any other human being on earth.
Thank you.
Very
Yes,
simple.
please.
On that point, Mike Schwartz from CNN, what would be the Israeli alternative for the Palestinians in Gaza to Hamas?
Frankly, we don't care who will lead them. For us, what's most important is what will be the policy. And if the policy will be not connected to terrorism and incitement, anyone can be a good option. So the contents here, the policies are important.
Thank you. Yes, please.
You say that no Palestinian.
I believe that you are asking only on one question.
The same question all the time.
Is it the only thing exists? I don't care. I continue with that.
If you can present yourself, please, sir.
So, no Palestinian.
If you can present yourself, please.
Yeah, sorry. My name is Luis from El País.
El País.
From Madrid.
Muy bien.
Thank you. So, no Palestinian Authority, no Hamas in the future of Gaza. Have you opened the door maybe for a possibility like the one that was talked about in the summit of Peking in Beijing last summer? That's a government of unity in which Hamas already accepted they are not going to be. Is this possible, or you absolutely close the door to any Palestinian institution in the future of the street?
I said previously, what's important is the policies, the strategies. The problem is what's needed here is de-radicalization process, a deep one. According to our experience with the Palestinian Authority during 30 years, they were not leading policies that denounce and not only denounce, but also finish incitement. They are already poisoning the minds of the new generation there as much as Hamas in the textbooks, in the kindergartens, in the schools there. They hadn't denounced really terrorism if they continue to pay for terrorists and terrorist families. That's an encouragement for terrorism. So this is the problem. And again I say, the issue is the policies. With whom you can promote a strategy of de-radicalization. That's the most important thing.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Let me ask you a different question.
Okay, very good.
About the Hezbollah ceasefire, you just stated in the 5-point IDF will stay temporary. But isn't this the violation of the ceasefire agreement?
The violation of the let's analyze the term agreement. Agreement is not something that only Israel should implement and the other side is totally released from meeting its obligations. This is not agreement. This is a unilateral approach. In spite of the fundamental breach, and the fundamental breach is the presence of Hezbollah terrorists southern to the Litani River against the agreement. Despite of that, we withdrew. We must protect we must protect, first of all, our citizens and our security. Then we should protect the agreement. And the agreement will collapse if there will be a successful effort of Hezbollah terrorists to invade Israeli territory. So we must be in these high points to avoid it. If Hezbollah was not present southern to the Litani River, we don't have any problem. When it will happen, we won't have to be there. So it is very clear.
Thank you.
demonstrated goodwill under a very complicated conditions, and I think it should be appreciated.
I think we need to wrap up soon. Last question? Yes, please.
Minister, is Egypt in breach of the Sinai demilitarization? And if so, what is Israel doing about it?
We will discuss it with the Egyptians.
Thank you.
Can I just get a clarification? I'm sorry, and thank you for taking this. A clarification on phase 2. You will begin, you said, you had conversations with American partners about this, about phase 2. But can we be very clear that you have not yet actually talked to the Egyptian Qatari mediators about phase
We
2?
will. It will happen this
It
week.
will, this week.
First of all, until this Saturday, there was a threat by Hamas to break the agreement. They regret eventually. Now, we had yesterday night a security cabinet meeting. We decided to open negotiations on the second phase. It will happen this week.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. This press conference is over. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.